Hey, hey, my lovelies. Oh, my darlings, my babies, whatever, whoever watches this. Anyways, I'm sleepy. Like, it's bedtime. I'm just tired. That's all there is to it. Usually, I don't do my videos until later in the afternoon. I may actually delete this one. But instead, I'm doing this one before I go to bed. It is morning time. I've been up all night. I'm used to working thirds, so I stay up at night. And then I sleep during the day. I don't know if I should be doing that, but I am doing that because I'm like, if I go back to my job and I get put back on thirds, I'm done on the schedule. I'm done. And then even at that, like when I've worked jobs before, it's like, oh, you're going to work first, second, and third all within the week. You're going to work 2 nights first, 2 nights second, and 1 night third. Okay. Coffee, anybody? Like anybody want some coffee? And then sitting there in my heart, as I'm like handing out food, and I'm like, I'm gonna die right here. But anyways, corporate America, if you will. I don't know. I've just had a lot on my mind. A lot I've been keeping to myself. Because I don't want to bitch and complain. But then again, I do. Because I'm a woman. But, yeah. And I don't want to even cut on the overhead light right now because I'm so sleepy. Like, I'm trying to keep the sleepiness in me so that way I go to bed after I shoot this. But, damn. I'm cold and I'm hot and I don't know. Like, that's just, maybe if I leave it on and turn it away from me. But, sorry, talking about my heater. I have this one friend that, I don't know. It's like negativity, and it's like that's everybody. And it is so hard to be positive when you try to surround yourself with positive people, but then you don't know how to find positive people. You don't know how to accept positive people because you've been around negativity and so on and so forth. And it's like just being in toxic, environments and relationships and stuff like that. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll see me talking about like my life here and then where I live. And then it's like you can't escape from it. Yeah, I can pack up and move, but I'm still going to find toxic people. And then the world is so kind of just kerfuffled or what the fuck ever with everything going on. It's like there is so much negativity. And it's like, I know there have to be people out there that are positive, that want to be a positive, that want to stay positive, that aren't trying to figure me out, that aren't trying to, like, it's just like trying to find people that love you, I guess, and stuff. And by love, I don't mean, yeah, they think they love you, or whatever and stuff and all that and everything. And it's like some of the things, like, I hate to even say this, but it's like, I have this friend that's like, oh, you don't need to tell anybody your sexuality. You don't just go up to people and randomly tell them your sexuality. Like, that's what causes problems. Is like, you go to a job interview and you're like, hi, like for instance, it'd be like, hi, I'm Heather, I'm a female, but I'm pansexual. You want to hire me? Like, you're not supposed to do that. And I get that you're not supposed to do that to a degree, but eventually we're leading up to a point in time. It's such a shift change. It's such a, that it's going to be like, it's going to be nothing. It's going to be another randomness. That's just like people with gray eyes. What? Gray eyes? Gray eyes is a thing? Or people that are technically brown, and technically I could kind of consider myself brown, but then again not because, and I've had people that are like, people have asked me before, and people have even said, "You're brown," and I'm like, okay. And then, I found out later on that they thought that I was like white and black, or white and Hispanic, or something. I don't know what the fuck I am. I'm a mutt. I'm a mutt. But for as far as I know, like, I just got Cherokee in me, supposedly. German, Dutch, I'm a mutt. But anyways, I don't know. Stevie, get away from the door, man. Seriously? My cat. He's so demanding. It's like I was watching a Blue Collar Comedy Hour, and Jeff Foxworthy is like saying the joke where he's like, okay, my wife, we're sitting in bed and we're both reading books, and my wife goes, "I'm hot." And he's like, "And do you realize that I got up and I walked over and I cut on the ceiling fan?" And at that moment in time when I was walking back to bed, he realized that his wife has trained him. And that's what I was thinking with my cat, because he's been sitting here. I've refused to feed them as of right now. I'm going to feed them right before I go to bed. But I was just doing it just to see what he would do. And he's been coming up to me, and he'll take his paw and like put it on my face. And he'll just like look at me, and then he'll bump his head into me, and then he'll walk off. And then about 30 minutes later, he'll come back, and he's like, Paul, and it's like so adorable, it's like, "Oh, you need me, you need me to feed you, and it's like you get fed every day a whole entire cup full of food, more than you should be fed, but I eat more than I'm supposed to, so it's whatever. I can't judge, but anyway, so my one friend's like, you don't tell people your sexuality unless you're wanting to have sex with them. And then I know her sexuality, and I'm like, that's confusing the fuck out of me. When you say that, do you remember that you said that to me? And then like, I said to her one day, I was like, if you're like, I'm in love with this girl, EJ, okay? I mentioned it before in my previous videos. I've been in love with her for over a year now. Kicking myself in the ass for it. Because I'm like, we haven't even dated. What the fuck is wrong with me? And then I'm like, but I'm me, and love is love, and the emotional attachment and all that. And I'm like, why do I have to get emotionally attached to anybody? But then if I didn't, then I wouldn't be, pansexual to the degree that I am, and I'm just like, I hate myself. But, so anyways, it's just anyways. But, yeah, boy, it's like, damn, what the fuck. And so anyways, this person, this other person or whatever is like, "Oh, you don't tell people your sexuality unless you're wanting to have sex with them." And then I'm like, "But you've told me your sexuality. Does that mean you want to have sex with me?" And then like, I don't know if she's crushing on me. I don't want to ask her. I done kind of asked her one thing one night, kind of dealing with that, and she just kind of, and like, and we're friends, and I don't want it to mess up the friendship. It's like the what is it? The shit. Oh, what's the phrase? The shoes on the other foot or whatever, because that's like EJ's like, "Oh, we're just friends." And I'm like, okay, but she was flirting with me, and for as far as I could tell, and I told her flat out, I was like, "I'm crushing on you." I was like, "I'm really crushing on you." And like, we talked about it for like months, like at least 2 months, where I was like, "I'm crushing on you," and she's like, "I don't see why." And that's the thing she would say. She'd say, "I don't see why." And, she would say, well, I don't like you like that. And I wanted more detail, well, why don't you like me like that? And she would never give it. And I don't know why she wouldn't give it. Maybe she was afraid she'd hurt my feelings. But me, I come from a very, very, very verbally abusive family. So you could probably look at me and be like, because I think you're ugly and stupid and you don't know a damn thing. And in all honesty, I'd probably be like, okay, and then I'll be like, well, why are we even friends? And then if you're like, because I feel sorry for you and want to help you out, I'd be like, okay. And then I probably, would kind of not call you anymore, not want to talk to you anymore if that was the case. But, I mean, I can take the hits, if you will. And other people can't, some people can't and everything. And so I don't know what the hell's going on is the best way to word it. I have no idea what the hell's going on with this other situation, but I'm just like, is it a situation or is it just my mind? Because you'll say this and then you'll say that and you're confusing me. It's like I'm getting crossed signals and I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? And then I mentioned it to somebody, and this other person's like, oh, sounds like they're crushing on you. And I'm like, I know, but I asked them if they were, and they said no. I'm like, so, I don't know what's going on. But maybe it's just because maybe we're such good friends that she just lets loose and says whatever she says around me, and it's crossing signals in my mind because I'm just like, because when you get that relaxed with somebody, hell, you'll say just about any goddamn thing around people when you get so fucking relaxed that you're just like, I don't give a shit. It's like, let's get drunk and forget it all. But anyway, I don't know what the deal is. But all I do know is I know who I'm still wanting to be with, who I'm still very attracted to, who I like, who I want to talk to, who I'm in love with, who I think about every fucking time before I go to sleep, and who I think about every fucking morning when I wake up, and who I've been thinking about all this time, for a friggin' year now, and I'm just like, let it stop already, can it stop already? And then, if you've watched my previous videos, you'll see where my kid got taken from me. And I'm like, I need to focus on that. I need to be an adult. And then it's like, okay, be an adult. And it's like, wait, I have a busted ankle and it hurts. And that's the reason I'm kind of very miserable. I mean, in all honesty, I'm kind of very, but then it's like, there's other people over in other countries. And there's other people even right here that you can tell that they've broke their foot and they've just went into work and said, fuck it, and now they walk with a limp, or whatever. And I'm just like, but I don't want to be them, and it's like, I want the best of the best. Everybody wants the best of the best, and so on and so forth. But I'm like, I never even got a fair start, is what I feel like, It's like failure to launch, or something like that, failure to bloom. Oh, God, that's one thing. When I was with my husband, he was like, and that's even with my neighbor that I had a falling out with. She's like, I'm going to break you. She's like, I'm going to make you get used to people being kind to you. And then she turned around and lied, on a situation. And that's the reason I don't talk to her no more. Not because I hate her for it, but because I was like, this superiority of, that was going on kind of, and everything, and trying to throw me up under the bus. It's like, you can't come into my life. I don't know, I'm broken. You can't come into my life and be like, I'm going to fix you. I'm going to make you better. Because I'm like, better. And then everybody has this illusion of perfect that they apply to outsiders, That's like even me with my dog or my kid or whatever. I could sit here and I could be like, you're going to be the best of the best. You're going to be the best dog, or you're going to be the best kid, or the best cat, or the best partner. You're going to be the best of the best because I'm going to make sure you're the best. I'm going to put all my effort into you. I'm going to have every conversation with you. I'm going to be so supportive, this and that. But at the end of the day, we all fall short. We all fall short. And I don't know. I'm such a mediator. I'm such an INFP. I'm such a humble, servant, if you will, or what the fuck ever. I'm just like, something's gonna not go right. Like, that's so depressing. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's just like, I'm really tired. But yeah, it's just like, it's so depressing. It's what? you know? But anyway. Oh, my worst fear right now is putting so much energy, so much good positive into certain things that I end up losing sight of other things, and everything else just kind of flops. And then I'm like, no, I can stay focused. No, I can do this. God, I'm going to have to do, I don't want to, and all these internal shit ass things that I have to deal with over the next month or two. But, sorry. Damn. Very sleepy. What the fuck was I saying? Oh. Well, that's another thing, too. Okay, I get on here in a vlog, right? Anybody that watches any of my videos, they might think I'm a complete and total dumbass, To each their own. Have whatever opinion you want to of me. But anyway, so I know that I'm not all up on the internet game side of things. I'm not all up on the any type or any side of things. I'm just this thing just kind of floating through life. Oh God. That's horrible. I had a horrible thought. Anyways, about myself. But anyways, there's something to say. But yeah, you could probably figure out the joke there. But anyways, damn. Anyways, I joined this app, or I joined this group on this app that I just downloaded the other night. And it's like turned out pretty good for the most part, and it's like, following people and them following me, and I put up like 2 little posts or whatever, and the leader of the thing or whatever is like, oh, well, this is coded and this is why this happens, because I'm going through and I'm thanking every person that follows me, because I think we need more of that in the world, in all honesty. We need more appreciation. Everybody needs more appreciation. Appreciation is the fucking key, to unlock everything, Appreciation. Appreciate, thank you, And so anyways, I'm pretty much getting from what little bit I read, or I did read the whole thing, that it's like, oh, it's computerly programmed for everybody to be able to hit, like whoever may be online, and hit follow, and it follows them all. Okay, so they're hitting one button that may have 10 other people linked to it that makes them follow me, but I'm still wanting to show appreciation to them. So I'm still writing up under their little thing, every single person. And granted, it may come a day and time when I can't do that, because hell, I got on today and there was like 25, and I was like, damn, I was like, okay, and I was like, click, thank you. Click, thank you. Click, thank you. Click, thank you. But the thing is that I took the time, and it's like things come back on you tenfold. I took the time out to do that. I took the time out to show that appreciation. And even if it don't come back into me on this lifetime or what the fuck ever, at some point in time, somebody gonna fucking appreciate me somewhere when I need them to, But, so anyways, this leader or whatever, they're like, that's why that happens type degree. And then there's like, oh, and plus, if you need to know anything. And I mean, I appreciate them reaching out to me, because I wrote this post and I wrote how I'm like not computer or internet savvy, because I'm not. I'm like, I mean, for crying out loud, I still have VHS tapes, like, I'm as old school as they kind of come to be as young as I am, And I'm like right there in that weird generation to a degree, but anyway. And then everybody's like all into this digital art and gaming, and I'm just like, I need some Tylenol. like, I'm into it for as far as viewing it, but for as far as the effort, you put effort into things that you want to do, and it is fucking awesome that other people want to do that shit. It's amazing, in all honesty, and I'm just like in awe, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, that is so fucking neat. That is cool, dude, But I'm, different, and I'm not saying that I'll never become that way. I might, I don't know. Kind of doubt it, to be honest, but I never know. I'm very flexible, with setting like a very harsh standard upon myself in that way. But anyways, it just reminded me of how a lot of people look at me. And a lot of people do look at me like I'm stupid. And I'm not saying that this person looked at me like I was stupid, but this person's like, oh, if she's stating honestly that she don't know stuff, and so if she needs to know something, I'll put it out there. Hey, if you need help, I'll help you. And I appreciate that. I really do. I really do. But I guess I don't know how to fully appreciate it because I'm so used to being downgraded and treated like shit. And I'm so used to keeping myself humble. And I like living humble. It's like I like my humble pie. I like humility. I like all this shit to a degree. I like being an average Joe in that way, But it's just like, there's a part of me that if I had a different persona that kicked in, I would be sitting here like with a fucking joint, and I would be like, I know you think I'm an idiot, and I'll be like, it's okay, like that would be my other persona, if you will, and be like, ain't no sweat off my back, man, like, but then there's the, side of me that when a lot of that happens and a lot of people have attacked me, and it's like claws out and time to, tear you apart, I'm just like, and I become very sensitive and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm just like, the world as a whole thinks I'm an idiot. And then I'm just like, it's okay. It's okay. And then I'm like, but it's really not. Because I'm really not as stupid as I may come across as being. But then I'm like, but I am pretty dumb. And that's like I said, humble, being humble and shit like that and everything. And then that's even like, there is something going on with the way my mind developed throughout my childhood that it's like the post-traumatic stress, and the tension and all that and everything. It's like, I used to know how to type. I literally used to know how to type. And I don't know if it was 6th, 7th, or 8th. But in one of those grades, and we literally was all like, oh my God, we think our teacher knows voodoo or something or is a witch. She gave us a sheet of paper that was a printout of a keyboard. And she's like, I want you to memorize that keyboard. And she's like, I'm going to pray that all of y'all memorize this keyboard. It must have been 8th grade, and she'd worked with us the 2 previous years. And she's like, I'm going to make sure that y'all get how to type before, you go into high school. And so she's like, here's a sheet of paper, take it home, study it. Because a lot of us didn't even have computers, at home. And I did, but still. And so anyways, it's like, it's a printout, and we had to sit there, even she would like make us pull the paper out for like weeks and study with the paper and like sit there and pretend type with the fucking paper, okay, that's a printout. And so she told us one night, she's like, I'm going to pray that y'all memorize that. Because what she did was she gave us a blank keyboard. And we had to write all the letters and symbols and everything that belonged in them. That was like our end of the grade, or end test, of the grading period, or what the fuck ever. And we only studied it like maybe a week or two. Like really studied and had that paper to study by. And like she asked us the day before she gave us the test, she's like, how y'all think y'all gonna do? And we all like kind of busted out laughing. We was like, we gonna fail. We was like, you ready to write some F's in your grading book over there? Like, we gonna fail this shit, And she and that was at the beginning of that class that day, and she's like, why do you say that? And we was like, we don't have any confidence, that we're going to do it and everything. And I think I even spoke up to her, if I remember correctly. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just thought it. But I think she kind of come over to me because I was the one being more negative, coming from a more negative, verbally abusive background and shit. And she kind of come up to me and she put her hand, she's like, well, why do you think you're going to fail it, Heather? And I think this happened. I know she touched my shoulder, She did that to me several times. Like, I've had, I don't know how many teachers. That's like the compassion. We know something's going on worse than some other people got it here, But, so anyways, so I think she asked, she's like, well, why do you think you're going to do so bad? And I was like, because I do bad at everything. I was like, I can't do shit right. I can't even feed the dogs right at home. I mean, I didn't cuss like that, but I was like, to hear my parents tell it, I can't even feed the dogs properly. I was like, so I'm definitely going to pass, or not pass, but I'm definitely going to fail this. And, like, she just kind of walked around, talked to a few other people about why they thought they was going to fail it. And then she, like, went to her desk and she's like, okay. She's like, well, how many of y'all believe in God, And some of us raised our hands, some of us didn't. And some of us that did, we just sat there and we was like, she's not really supposed to ask that. And she's like, okay, well, I'm not even asking for, like she said something about she's not asking for, real, like, purposes of knowing. She's like, but I believe in God. She's like, I'm going to tell you how much I believe in God. And she's like, I'm going to go home and tonight I'm going to pray that y'all memorize that paper and then when y'all come in tomorrow, y'all are going to pass. And literally, we went into class that day and we'd done been talking, me and these people. And we was like, I dreamt of that fucking sheet of paper with the keyboard on it. And they're like, man, I did too. Me too. And we all had the same dream. It was the fucking keyboard printed on the damn paper. And by the time we got to her class, I was kind of a little like, she a witch? Like, what just happened here? And so was my friends. And we were like, okay, and then here's the test time. So she sets the paper right in front of us, and everything. And literally, we were all done, like, within 15 minutes. And, we had a while to take the test, but we were all done way before time. And every single damn one of us passed, Every single damn one of us got it correct. Or we might have mixed up, like, 2 or 3 keys. But other than that, like, it was all A's, if you will. And we were just, like, floored as a class and just like, what the fuck happened? Like, we didn't even really study. We didn't know. And now we had a dream about it. And now we know. And now we all think our teacher's a witch. Or we're just like, she on some high up level stuff with God up in there. Like something. We don't know. We just know we passed the test, But, so anyways, the reason I got into this long-ass story about that and everything is because I used to know how to type. You set me in front of a computer now, and I'm like, and granted, I'll sometimes still rest my hands, and I can kind of, a little bit, and everything, but like this is just typing regular keyboard computer, but it's like it don't fully come back. I'm not practiced enough though for it to fully come back, and that's the thing too. From middle school to high school, hell, I didn't take another computer class until like the second half, I believe, of 10th grade. So I went like a whole year and a half after learning how to type, not having to type. And so it's like it just went out the window to a degree. But then also because in my household with my family and me being the scapegoated child, it's like I went in and it's like, I did type at first. My parents would ask me something and I was like, over here doing this, and you hit escape and alt and what is it, enter, hold them in to clear out shit, and you do. I mean, I was kind of becoming a little good at it, and everything, and that's kind of how my dad got in trouble for some stuff, because I was like, Mom, come here, But anyway, um, ugh, oh God. About made myself sick thinking about it. But anyways, yeah, I was pretty good at it. And you get around verbal abuse or discouragement, and if you're around it long enough, it takes hold. Even if you don't mean for it to, even if you don't want it to, even if you fight it off. And that's the reason you got people that are depressed and people that commit suicide and stuff, is they can't fight it off anymore. And sometimes I'm even sitting here almost on the verge of having a panic attack because I'm like, I don't know if I can handle going back to work again. And then to hear last night, or not last night, but the night before from one of my previous managers, oh, the drama has gotten 3 times worse since you've been gone. And I'm just like, can we serve bullets with our food, and like, I mean, like, it's just like, damn, has it really gotten that much worse? And granted, she may be lying, she may be wrong, and this and that. But my God, even my chest is hurting now just thinking about it, like the stress and everything. And so I'm just trying to figure out how to stay alive like everybody else on the face of the planet. But anyways, so back to the whole thing about me knowing how to type. So I'm sitting there typing, right? And that summer, and my dad got on this kick where he'd be like, hey, type this in. Hey, look this up for me. And this is when Ask Jeeves is like, boom. It's huge. And this is before the retardation of Ask Jeeves, where you'd be like, what color are my eyes? Just to see what it would say, and shit like that, just to fuck with it, or fuck with the guy, or you just be like, ask it random shit, or you just be like, duck, quack, dog, bark, and just see what it would pull up, But that was before that time. But you'd sit there and you'd ask, you'd ask it questions, or you'd type in the question on Ask Jeeves. I miss Ask Jeeves. God, do I? It's like fucking Google now, but Ask Jeeves was better. It was just better. Or at least I thought it was. But, so my dad, all the time, he'd be like, hey, type this in, hey, type that in, hey, type this in, hey, type that in. Once he learned that I could type quicker than him, I could spell better than him, and stuff like that. And then it got to the point where I would be like, it was like, every time I sat down in front of the computer, he's like, ask it this, ask it that. I need to know this. Look this up for me. Do this for me. Do that for me. For me. And after just a month even of that, I would get to where I wouldn't even want to be around the computer. Because as soon as I would sit down in the chair, if my dad was in the household, he would like come to me and he'd be like, hey, type this in for me and look that up for me and this and that. And I'm just like, I hate having a computer in the house. And it's like, I don't know. And then, also, since, I've learned about WordPad and Notepad and all that, and you could, different fonts and all this, and it's like, oh, a diary, just like vlogging right now, it's like, oh, I can make a diary on here. And then finding my dad reading my damn diary, even though it's just me bitching about things, it's nothing that I'm doing that's bad or anything, because I don't do bad shit, if you will, at that point in time. And I've never really done a lot of bad stuff in my life. But, like, he would just read it, and he would be, like, laughing. Like, literally, I would get out of bed in the mornings, and, like, he'd be sitting there reading my diary on the computer, because he was in control. He was the administrator over all of us, even though we had our own accounts with passwords and shit. And he would just be, like, snickering and be like, oh, well, damn. Well, I guess she got mad about that. Well, serves her ass right getting mad about that. Oh, she got mad about that. Well, I'm going to ask her to do that again today. Like this. And granted, there was only like 2 or 3 times that I seen him doing that. And so I just went in there and deleted everything, and was like, fuck. I can't do this. I can't keep a diary in my room. Can't write in my room. They read it. Can't do it on the internet. They read it. I have no privacy. My mom wants to wear the same goddamn underwear as me. Like, they've the bus, like, I don't know. I don't know what their problem is. But anyway, so I ended up forgetting how to type. And then I've never cared to relearn it. And that's just like playing pool. When I was a kid, my best friend, when I was a kid, her grandfather had a pool table. And I've mentioned this before in my previous videos or whatever. And there for 1 or 2 summers or a year and a half or something like that, I sparked the interest in her to play pool. Because I was over one day and I always wanted to learn. We didn't have a pool table. They did. She's my best friend. We're over at her grandparents' house all the time. My dad has talked about playing pool. My dad has talked about getting a pool table, but he has never cared to. He has prided himself on what a genius he thinks he is, and how good he was at pool, just like how good he was at riding dirt bikes, and how good he was at this, and how awesome all this cool shit was that he did, even though I'm not allowed to ever do any of the cool shit in my lifetime, ever, whether he did it or didn't do it, Anyway, so they got a pool table. So we're over there one day and we're like bored. And we used to sit on the pool table and stuff and kind of talk. And so I'd been asking her periodically, and I'd wait like a week or 2 and ask again and stuff like that. But it's like we're at a point where we're not little girls anymore. We don't want to play this stuff anymore. We want like trivia games. We don't have any. Our parents won't buy us any that's really difficult or really hard. And then in all honesty, I wasn't the best reader at the time. So I probably wouldn't have played it with her anyways, because I would have got halfway through the sentence, not known the fucking word, and threw it back down and been like, fuck it. But so anyways, one day I'm like, you want to play pool? And I was learning to play pool on the internet at home, the little pool games and everything. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, I don't know how, or I know this. Like, she told me what she knew, and then I took what I knew. And then I even asked her grandfather a few questions or whatever. And so me and her got to where we was playing. And we was good at it, and we had fun. And we used to be able to, we learned how to pop the balls so they'd go off the table. And our grandfather come in, he's like, what's that noise? Stop doing that. And we learned how to pop them too, that they'd skip. They'd jump over and hit the ball that you needed them to. And I tried to teach her how to do it, and she, Lord, and I don't know how many, she hit me a few times with the damn pool stick, not meaning to, in all honesty, but damn, But, now, once or twice, I think she kind of bumped me, and everything. And then, she used to snicker all the time because, it was in a room that was just big enough to get around the fucking pool table. So the ends is clear, but the sides, you got the fucking pool stick all the way up here trying to make a shot, and everything. But I don't even know if anybody would remember that other than me, because I remember things like that. But God, like, I enjoyed it so much. And then it got to the point where I would just run over to see if she was there some days, because I expected her to be there, because she normally was, and she wouldn't be there. And there's once or twice that her grandfather was there, and he's like, oh, she left and she'll be back later, in a few minutes or 30 minutes or something like that. And I'd be like, oh, okay. And I'd be like, you care if I sit out here? And he'd be like, no, that's fine. And it got to a point where, like, I don't even know if it was those times or if it's just when she was there and she didn't want to play or whatever, but I played her grandfather, and he got to where he wouldn't play me because I knew how to break good enough. And it's like, literally, it's like I could just see it already, the whole game in my head, how it's going to play out just from the way that I would break it, like, and I was like, damn, I'm a genius at this, is what I felt like. But then I've never played again since then. And so I'm completely and totally out of practice. Don't even know how to hold a damn pool stick any fucking more. Worth a shit, Never had a car to go to a fucking pool hall. Never been invited by anybody. Thank you, the town that I live in. Love you suckers too. And then even at that, like, I'm so sensitive and so, like, traumatized from shit. If I go out and everything and say I was to try to play and somebody snickers at me, I'm just going to walk the fuck away. Because I'm very sensitive in that. I'm very sensitive in that. Because the verbal abuse and shit that I've dealt with and everything. That's the reason when I'm still so mad. Because I went out on the truck with my husband, and so they got pool tables at the fucking truck stops. And instead of just being left alone, you go into a room. There's separate rooms. There's like 5 separate rooms in some places, or 3 separate rooms. There's pool tables, and you're there with your husband or your significant other, if you will, or whoever, but it was my husband I was there with. And we would literally go in there, and I would literally tell him, I'll be like, I'll play pool with you if you'll be kind and gentle with me, to a degree on it and everything. I was like, because I really want to relearn how to play pool. And he's like, yeah, I will. And we would go in there. 3 minutes later, here's somebody else coming in. Some other guy. And it's like, oh, you try to be polite, and you're like, and everything else, and you're like, yeah, and then they're like, I want to play you, and it's like, no, you don't, because I don't know how to play anymore, and it's like, oh, this is my husband, yeah, and no, we're not swingers, and, like, I mean, that's when you want to look at somebody and be like, this is a private session, can you go the fuck on? But then again, you can't do that because it's not like you paid for the, like, I hate men. God, do I. This one guy would not fucking leave. And this was the perfect, everything happens when it's supposed to type shit, supposedly, if you believe in God, and I do. And so that's the only thing that keeps me sane when shit like this happens. Coincidences, if you will. But literally, we were parked there. We had slept all fucking day. We got up, and we stayed up, and then we were parked there again, and we were going to be parked there for a few days. So our sleeping schedule was just kind of wonky at best. And so one night, we like woke up at like 11:30 at night, and it was like, let's go play pool, let's go in here and play pool. And this guy wouldn't fucking leave. He kept playing my husband, he kept playing pool with my husband, and I'm just like, and I tried to give him every hint in the world without just looking at him and being like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I tried, and so did my husband. Like, my husband would be like, well, I think we're going to call it a night. I don't know how many times my husband said that, And we would just kind of stand there looking at the guy, and the guy would just stand there looking at us, and he'd be like, oh, okay. Like, we shouldn't have to walk out to the fucking truck, go to the truck, shut the doors, just to get you to leave us the fuck alone, And the thing is it's not like he was waiting to have the pool table. There were 2 other pool tables accessible that nobody was using. He just wanted somebody to play with. So did I, damn it. Like, make me mad. Oh my God. And that's even like bowling. I had not been bowling in I don't know how long. And then my husband took me. I used to be good at bowling. I even out-bowled my Girl Scouts troop leader when I was a kid. And it's like anything I was good at, you're the scapegoated child, so you get treated like shit, And my mom got mad that I was good at bowling. Instead of being like, you know what? I think my kid's on to something. I think I need to bring her bowling more often. You know what? She's really good at it. No, that didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. Instead it was like, let's not take her for a long time, and then when we do take her, let's laugh at her. And so that's what they did. They literally didn't take me for like 3 years, which granted, I get that they may not have the money, but they sure had the money for my sister's cheer games and cheer camp and cheer shorty shorts and all this and gym, she didn't go to gymnastics, but still cheer competitions that were in different places that we had to travel, to go to, like, but they didn't have money to take me fucking bowling for years. And so when I did go again, it's like, you have to relearn. You have to get back and practice, So here I'd go, and the first 2 balls, gutter balls, my dad's laughing his ass off. And so that right there, you're just like, I give up. I don't want to do it no more. Fuck it. So I went with my husband, and my husband kind of snickered at me. But then I kind of looked at him like, you want me to hit you with this fucking bowling ball? Like, I've told you verbally how sensitive I am and how I'm fucked up in this way. And you're kind of snickering at me because you're like, just being a douchebag, And then he seen me look at him like that. And then I was kind of like, I guess he could tell he discouraged me, which is pathetic because I done told you how sensitive I am. You don't have to test it, buddy, And that's the thing about me is when I tell you a sensitivity about me. See, that's the thing too, like about this whole situation with what's going on with somebody right now, I feel like, is it's like anytime I put anything out here on my YouTube or talk about anything in my everyday life when I'm at work or anything, and I'm like, this is sensitive about me. It's like, oh, let's poke a stick at it. And then it doesn't work, and then they're just like, because I'm putting it out and I know what I'm doing. I'm in control. So if I say, if I like ripped open my arm and I said, don't touch it, and then you come up to me and you touched it, okay, that says what it says about you, and that's just like with my husband. It said what it said about him. And I did not catch the red flags early enough to leave that relationship way beforehand, But, and then even at that, he was my husband. People that I'm more intimate relationship with, I'm more intimate relationship with. That's kind of a common factor among most human beings, So some people need to grasp that, I guess, is what I feel like. But anyways, so he kind of smiles at me like the first 3 times, I throw the ball or whatever, or whatever. And granted, there was one time that, like I thought I was gonna break the fucking and I was laughing at myself. And when that happens, I'm fine. But when you're sitting there kind of snickering at me and I'm not, then I'm not fine, But anyways, so, he kind of looked at me and he's like, well, come here and I'll show you. And I'll be honest, the only reason that I obeyed, if you will, in that instance is I was like, I guess I'll give him a try. He is my husband after all. So I went over and he's like, do it like this. He was reteaching me how to bowl. And I was like, okay. And then I did like 2 times his way. But then from there on, I started remembering, oh yeah, this is the way I used to do it. And then I started, doing good. And then he's like, see, you're getting on up there, and everything. And then because my kid was with us and everything, so we went like 2 or 3 more times with him. And then my kid had her birthday party out at the bowling alley, which my dad paid for, because now, now since you went with your husband, now it's a thing to go to the bowling alley, with, your kid. And also, yeah. Like, if it was up to me, my child would have went bowling by the time she was a year old. She would have went to the skating rink by the time she was like 2 or 3. If my life was completely up to me and I could just willy-nilly do what the fuck ever I wanted to, and now even saying that, and that's even like, my counselor being like, where's your happy place, Heather? Find your happy place. Happy place, happy place. I don't know why some people have shitty luck in life. I don't know why. I don't know why God is putting me in the situations that he's putting me in. I don't know who I'm supposed to be teaching what to, but I'm trying at least. Even though it's like I'm winging it all, but... Anyways, that's like, find your happy place. When I went to counseling, when they first took my kid from me. Where's your happy place? Think of a happy place. Okay, happy place. The beach with my kid. The beach with Ava. Taking Ava to the beach. Ava has not been to the beach since she was 2. Ava is 11 at this moment in time. She's 12 now. But Ava is 11. I've always wanted to drive so that way I can take her back out to the beach. I want to see her eyes light up. I want to see her look and realize how small we really all are in comparison to the huge ocean. I want to sit there and watch the sunrise and the sunset with my baby girl. I want to sit there and laugh and giggle and eat, chocolate and caramel and marshmallows and popcorn and whatever until that's all that we wake up in the bed with because we fell asleep and we forgot to set it on the, and it's all over the sheets and there's popcorn in the bed, and my baby girl and just, these great memories that I want to have with her, And who knows, maybe while I'm out there, since I'm single, maybe I'll meet some guy that will approach me that's not a pedophile that'll be like, hey, I got a kid too. Does your kid want to play with my kid? Or, and all these little daydream fantasy soap opera type shit that happens in the movies, and everything. Or just anybody come up to me and be like, you're cute. I like you, or, I'm attracted to you. Would you like to hang out? Would you like to eat supper with us tonight? Or would you like to meet up and eat supper together at this restaurant, or some shit? All these little, and it never happened. But anyways, life is hard. But anyway, so my counselor's like, think of something. And so I'm like, at the beach with my kid. What do these motherfucker parents of mine end up doing? They took my kid to the beach. I literally, I went in the bathroom when I found out, and I just cried. I just cried like a baby. And then my parents at one point in time, my mom at one point in time, something, I don't even know what the fuck it was. Something when I was a kid happened. And it was the same situation. It's like, what I want to do, I don't get to do. They do it. Can I live? Can y'all stop wanting to live all the fucking time? And I don't mean live like live life, but can y'all stop wanting to live it up and be the best of the best? And you got a brand new fucking car, and here I am 30 and just got my license, and my one kid that I have is 12. I'm angry. And I've never even drove her to the fucking park. And then here's my cousins that have been going out and being swinging and this and that and slept with each other's what the hell ever and this and that and all these problems and all these issues and fights and jail and this and that and everything else. And, and they're just zooming past me just like my sister, I wasn't good enough for her ass either, and I'm just sitting here like, I'm not even able to keep up because nobody gives a shit if I keep up. And I don't want to keep up on the bad sense of things, but here's my sister going to concerts and going to Chattanooga and going to Riverbend for years in a row and buying the pass and this and that and having a good time and I gotta stop because I'm going to end up crying. I gotta stop right there because I'm going to end up crying. Because I've literally been miserable. But then not, because I learned how to appreciate things. Because when you're given little, you learn to appreciate what you have. And that's the dumb ass thing about my parents and everybody else on the face of the planet that makes me hate people to a degree. Is you don't know how to appreciate the things that you have. That's like people that sit here, and complain about their life being shitty, yet they've had a car since they were 18. Or some shit like that. And I'm like, you had what since you were 18? Wait, you had a car? You had a car. So how hard is it to get a job? Even if your car is shitty, get a job for a year and save up and buy a new car. And most of them lived with people where they didn't have to pay bills. And then even at that, there's homeless shelters that they could have lived in, Like, I feel like I've always been just spinning my wheels because nobody will get the fuck out of my way. And then everybody's like, oh, Heather, it's you. You're getting in your own way and everything. And it's like, I wish it was that simple. But it's the negativity, too. It's the negativity because I done dealt with it when I was a kid. And then y'all are throwing it at me like I never dealt with it before. Y'all are like, because y'all have never dealt with it before. Oh, you grew up and you got out from mommy and daddy's little wing of we think you're a good person or a good kid or a decent kid or we love you. And I came from a background of you're a fucking moron. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything. You don't know what you're talking about. No, that didn't happen, even though I would visually see it happen right in front of my eyes and I would say, why did you do that? And they'd be like, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. And you're just like, do you think I'm stupid? Like, anyways. Dear Lord, baby Jesus, like, seriously, you're going to have to send me somebody that's going to be very emotionally supportive and encouraging. But anyways, that's one thing. Like, I found this group or whatever, and I've been talking on there and everything, and I feel so good. And that's like another group that I joined on Facebook, but then I got out of it because any sense of negativity, even though I sit here and I preach, and I'm like, oh, everything has positive and negative. I'm so skittish that you can put me in the most positive place and it say, because it's life. So it's 95% positive, but 5% negative. And as soon as that 5% negative shows up, that's just like my neighbor, for instance. She only lied once. She was nice to me the rest of the time. I ain't gonna lie. But I could sense that there was some process in the head going on, like she put up a wall. And then the lie came and it was like, that's where you're flawed at, But I can be like in 95% positive place and see that 5% negative. And as soon as that 5% negative shows itself, I'm going and out the fucking door, baby. Toodles, like I'm gone. Bye. Because I'm used to the, 95% bad, 5% good ratio, or the 75% bad, whatever, and 25%, good ratio. I'm used to that. It's a comfort blanket to a degree. But then it's not so much a comfort blanket as it is, I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing when it comes to shit like this. Because you're positive and kind towards me, and I'm like a new kid that has never received this. It's like, say I never received food and then you go to feed me. Say I'm like a fucking stray dog, and I've been beat by people, and then you go to feed me and give me shelter and I'm eating it up. And then you go to raise your hand really quickly because you're trying to tell me to get away because there's something near me that's fixing to hurt me, but I'm too blind to know it. And you're like, and instead I think you're going to hit me. So I run away and I never come back. You get what I'm saying? And so that's me in a nutshell, I guess, to a degree. And I got to figure out how to get myself out of that. And I don't know how to. I'm just like 30 years old, keep spinning my wheels, And I don't know who to trust. I don't know when to trust. And then I look out and I see people. I watch people. I see how they suffer. I see how they struggle. And I'm like, I don't think I'm really missing too much. I feel like I am. I'm told that I am. Then when I hear the stories, I don't think that I am. I don't really genuinely 100% believe that I am. But I'm going to end this here because it's at 61 minutes. I don't want it to cut off. And I might shoot another video today, or I might end up deleting this and later. I don't know. And I don't even know if I'm going to go to sleep right now because I got myself all riled up. But anyways, I hope you are doing good. Stay positive. If you have negativity, shut that shit out. Fling it out the fucking door. Do the best that you can. Like yourself. Appreciate yourself. You are a good person. You have a purpose. Stay positive, and all that jazz and everything else. If you need somebody to talk to, look me up on Messenger. I will talk to you. Granted, you can't be like, respond right now, but I'll respond when I can. I'll talk to you when I can, and I'll let you go, and I'll catch you later.